Welcome to session 4 of module 5. In this session, I am explaining the things related to the some of the advanced wastewater techniques which are used for treating the municipal wastewater. Under that, advanced oxidation process, electrochemical process, and all these things. First one is advanced oxidation process. Advanced oxidation process, it has been used since 19th century itself, as such as phantoms, reagent, and all these things. And now it is defined 1987 as advanced oxidation process, but still not in use in a large scale because it is very costly process. Because it's costly process. But most popular technique because of its high oxidative capacity, capability, and efficiency in tertiary treatment. And in throughout world, around 500, more than 500 commercialized advanced oxidation process are introduced. Installation is done around the world. So, advanced oxidation process, in a broader sense, are the chemical treatment procedure designed to remove the organic, not only organic, up to some extent inorganic also, materials in water and wastewater by oxidation through reactions with hydroxyl radicals. Hydroxyl radicals are very strong oxidation agent. By producing the hydroxyl radicals, it is possible to remove the organic and inorganic matters present in the water as well as in the wastewater. And also, which may helpful for the removal of heavy material, heavy metals, and aromatic compounds, and all these things. Means it is very much helpful for treating the tertiary treatment. Tertiary treatment. In real world applications of wastewater treatment, however, this term usually refers more specifically to a subset of such chemical process that employ ozone. Ozone is also used as an disinfectant agents and all these things. Hydrogen peroxide and UV light. These are some of the disinfectants which are commonly used to kill the pathogens and also some of the organic and inorganic matter. One such type of process is called in situ chemical oxidation. Chemical oxidation means it is advanced one. Advanced oxidation process rely on in situ production of highly reactive hydroxyl radicals OH. These reactive species are the strongest oxidant that can be applied in water and can virtually oxidize by compound present in the water matrix, often at a diffusion controlled reaction species consequently. The main mechanisms which are involved in the advanced oxidation process are, or chemistry of advanced oxidation process are, first one is the formation of hydroxyl ions. This is the first step which is involved in the particular one. Second mechanism is the hydroxyl ions attacks on the fragments molecules and break down into a fragmentous, means it attacks on the target molecules, whether it is organic or inorganic molecules, whatever it may be, and break down to fragments. And next one is subsequent attack of the hydroxyl ions which are produced by AOP, which until it utilizes it after its healing or it is acting such a way that until mineralization or finally it is attacked, the subsequent attack of the hydroxyl ion it takes place such a way that at the end product is to conversion of the mineralization takes place by using these techniques. Therefore, it is a strong oxidizing agent and it is commonly used for tertiary treatment. OH react unselectively once formed and contaminants will be quickly and efficiently fragmented and converted into small inorganic molecules. Means second mechanism. Hydraulic radicals are produced with the help of one or more primary oxidant such as ozone, hydrogen peroxide, oxygen or energy sources, ultraviolet rays or catalyst means titanium dioxide. Titanium dioxide is also one of the advanced oxidation process in which the titanium dioxide is used to used as an air purifier for removing the CO2, NOx contents which are present in the atmosphere due to the automobile or industrial effluent, industrial discharge and all these things. It is very effective one. New technique which is commonly used to reduce the air pollution in a urban area by the use of titanium dioxide. Now, titanium dioxide is one, it is catalytic, it is acting as a catalyst. Once it is come in contact with the sunlight, automatically the titanium dioxide is converted into hydroxyl ions, and from that hydroxyl ions it removes some of the COX and NOx which are present in the atmosphere. Therefore, titanium dioxide is also used as an air purifier in treating the air, urban, that too, especially in the urban area, that too, automobile exhaust and all these things. Precise pre-programmed doses, sequences, and combination of these reagents are applied in order to obtain maximum OH. It means if you want to use that particular one, it is very precious one, and also you are find out you go for programming that dosage, whatever the amount of dosage which is required, and also in a sequential order and combinations of these reagent means just like titanium dioxide is combined with the sunlight, the effectiveness is more. Like that, you are use that particular one for get the maximum hydroxyl yield. In general, when applied in properly tuned condition, AOPs reduces the concentration of contaminants from several hundreds ppm to less than 5 ppb. Means it is possible to reduce the contaminant up to low level and therefore significantly bring COD and TOC down, which earn in the rate of water treatment process of the 21st century. The AOP's produce is particularly useful for cleaning biologically toxic or non-degradable material such as aromatics, pesticides, petroleum constituents, and volatile organic compounds in wastewater. Means you will by the method of primary as well as secondary treatment. In some of the cases, it is not possible to remove the toxic materials, aromatics, pesticides, and volatile organic metals and all these things. But by using the advanced oxidation process, it is possible to remove all the toxic materials and all these things from the wastewater. It is comes under the tertiary treatment. Additionally, UOPs can be used to the effluent of the secondary treated wastewater, which is then called tertiary treatment. Means tertiary treatment is usually adopted if it is not possible to remove the toxic materials from the primary as well as secondary treatment. In such a case, you may go for tertiary treatment. The contaminant materials are covered to a large extent into stable inorganic compounds such as water, carbon dioxide, and salts. Means they are undergo mineralization. The chemistry of the AOP itself, I am explaining what about the chemistry which is involved in the particular. Final aim of the using of the hydroxyl ions is to convert the organic and inorganic metals present in the particular into minerals. A goal of wastewater purification by means of AOPs producers is the reduction of the chemical contaminants and the toxicity to such an extent that clean wastewater may be reintroduced into receiving streams or at least into a conventional sewage treatment. Means by the removal of the toxic material and all these things, it is easy to dispose that particular one into the running water body or online or water. Otherwise, it may use the wastewater after treating that particular one with the UOPC. That particular wastewater may be treated by ordinary conventional sewage treatment to get the maximum efficiency. Electrochemical coagulation. Coagulation is a process in which we destabilize the charged particles which are present in the water or wastewater. Usually colloids are charged particles. So we destabilize the colloidal particles which are present in that particular one by using the chemicals and all these things. It is chemical coagulation. But electrochemical coagulation is one in which we destabilize the charged particles which are present in the water and wastewater by introducing the electricity or introducing the charged particles through anode or cathode or introducing or producing the bubbles of oxygen and all these things with the anode and cathode. By that, it is possible to remove the colloidal particles which are present in the particular one. Usually, the in electrochemical coagulation process, we may use anode, cathode, and electrodes are aluminum, iron, stainless steel, copper, and all these things. For that, what we go for? In this particular system, we are using the electrodes as well as DC water supply and DC current supply and all these things, and maintain the particular voltage and all these things. The amount of coagulation will be mainly depending upon the type of the electrodes used, what about the amount of current supplied, and what about the system concentration of the system and all these things. Electrocoagulation is known as a novel process involving chemical, electrical, and physical phenomena. Means we may go for both a combination of all the three that use metal electrodes to supply charged ions into the wastewater stream. Means we are using the metal electrodes like iron, copper, aluminum, and all these things to supply the charged ions into the wastewater. If you supply the charged ions that to opposite charge, automatically opposite charge particles are attract each other. By that, it forms a flux, and finally it settles down or destabilizes the colloidal particles present in the particular one. It involves the generation of charged coagulants in situ by dissolving electrically metal ions into the bulk solution. During the electrolysis, metal ions are generated at the anode phase, and hydrogen gas is released at the cathode phase. Means there are two electrodes there. One is anode as well as cathode. At anode, electrical charges will be generated, metal charges ions will be generated, and at the cathode, the hydrogen gas is released. The hydrogen gas burns up the flux particles out of the bulk solution and float, and by that the flocculation will be takes place in that particular system. The electrodes as anodes and cathodes may be arranged in a non-polar or bipolar mode. Depending upon the requirement, they may go for that. The metals may be of aluminum, iron, or stainless steel in plate, cylindrical form, or packed form of scraps such as steel turnings, millings, operable in 3D or 2D or 3D models. Means electrode may be of any shape. Usually, it is flat or circular in the nature. The theory of electrochemical coagulation treatment process can be shielded in the successive stage of operation. The different steps which are involved in the electrochemical coagulation is as follows. Electrolytic oxidation of the sacrificial electrodes leads to the formation of coagulating agents which neutralize the surface charge of the colloids, destabilize it, and break down emulsion. Means it produces the electrical charged particles of opposite in nature. By that, it neutralizes the charged particles which are present in the system. The electrocoagulants serve as agent and promote particles agglomeration and facilitate formation and growth of the flux network. Means it increases the formation of the flux. Formation of the flux means it creates a bridge between the opposite charged particles. By that, it attracts the surrounding particles, opposite particles. By that, the specific gravity of the particular flux goes on increasing. Finally, it settles at the bottom. Generation of microbubbles of oxygen at the anode and hydrogen at the cathode and other reactive gases which enhance adsorption and attraction between the particles and entrapment of impurities in the suspension to the top of the electrochemical coagulation system, thereby promoting the effluent clarification. Means due to the production of oxygen as well as hydrogen and all these things, it enhances the adsorption capacity between and attraction capacity between the two charged particles of opposite nature. By that, entrapment will be takes place, and by that it increase the efficiency of the treatment plant or treatment unit, electrochemical coagulation efficiency. Rural sanitation. Rural sanitation means the rural sanitation is important things nowadays. We are given a much more concentration to keep the health and welfare of the rural society in a hygienic condition. Health is wealth. Unless otherwise we are maintain the hygienic condition in the particular one. So it is very difficult to maintain the wealth of the society. Wealth of the society means it is in a good condition. The people who are residing in the particular area or in a healthy condition, then automatically it is very benefit for the society as well as for the individual. For therefore, sanitation means maintain the good hygienic condition in the rural area is also important things to be taken into consideration nowadays. how to maintain the health and welfare of the rural peoples in a good condition. So, under rural sanitation, have a shortage of water and hence only conservation system is exiting. Definitely, it is not possible to supply the required quantity of water to the rural area, that too as per IS standards. Usually, as per the IS standard itself, for the urban area, the total quantity of LPC water required for per capita per day is around 195 LPCD. But for rural areas, it is restricted to up to 90 usually, depending upon whether it is public water supplies, public taps or individual connection and all these things. So therefore there is a scarcity of the water is present in the particular, and also for collection of these now maintenance of the sanitation and all these things is carried out in the conservation system only. It is not possible to adopt the water carriage system. The rural areas are mostly unsewered because of two main reasons. So in rural area, almost all the rural areas are unsewered. It is not possible to go for underground drainage system or water carriage system because there is no adequate water supply. If you want to go for water carriage system, sufficient quantity of water is required to collect, convey, and dispose the total quantity of waste which is generated in the particular area. But there is a shortage of water supply is there in the rural area, so therefore it is not possible to go for water carriage system. Population is not concentrated, means usually the rural area population is less in terms of thousands only, that too in a 1000 2000 like that. In such a area it is not possible to go for water carriage system since it is a costly one, and also the revenue generated from that particular area is too less, so therefore it is not possible to go for water carriage system. As there is no sewerage system, therefore some method should be developed for the safe collection and disposal of human excreta from such area. Means since it is not possible to adopt the water carrier system, therefore we search for an alternative method of disposing the human excreta such that it is eco-friendly as well as it is not create any health hazard to the peoples who are residing in the particular area, and also not polluting the surface water as well as groundwater source and all these things. Rural sanitation compromises the following four essentials: provision of safe and potable water for domestic purpose. So they are supply the water such a way that it should be potable one. It is not causing any epidemics in the particular area. For that, we are given the minimum treatment such a way that it should be acceptable one, and it is not causing any health hazard to the consumers by adopting disinfection process and simple low cost treatment techniques. Collection and disposal of dry refuse. So in the urban area it is possible to introduce a different system of collection system and all these things, door to door collection system and all this is for collection of the dry refuse. But in the rural area it is not possible to do that particular, but we are collecting the dry refuse such a way that it should not cause any health hazard. Collection and disposal of sewage. Sewage water means the water which is come out from the bathroom, kitchen and all this, it exclude the human excreta waste. So disposal of sewage is also very important here. Usually the sewage is carried out in the open drains in the urban areas. Disposal of the excretal waste. This is very important thing we are taking into consideration. So nowadays, Swachh Bharat Andolan and all these things, some of the schemes are implemented by the government and all these things to enhance or improve the social, economical, as well as the sanitation condition of the rural people by providing a funds and all these things. So the disposal of the excretal waste is also very important thing. We dispose the excreta such a way that it should not cause any health hazard to the local area or surrounding people or surrounding area. General requirements of a good privy, or if you want to go for good privy and all these things, it should be located away from the building. So we are locating the privy such a way that it is away from the building. If it is near to the particular building, it may affect the foundation as well as it may create a odor problem and aesthetically not acceptable. Floor should be impervious, means the floor of the particular one is impervious. It does not allow the water to enter into the particular one. If it is pervious, it may penetrate into or percolate through that particular one, and finally it may reach the groundwater or foundation and all these things. Well ventilated means there is a provision for the circulation of the air and all these things. sufficient capacity. The size of that particular one is having a capacity to hold the waste generated in the particular individual house in the particular area depending upon the number of users and all these things. It should remain closely covered, means it is always closed condition only. If it is open to the atmosphere, then it is a breeding place for the mosquitoes and all these things. Then it may cause epidemic diseases and all these things. And also it is cost effective one. Since the revenue generated in the particular area and also economic conditions of the peoples who are residing in the particular area is too less, therefore that particular system should be cost effective one in terms of initial cost as well as operation and maintenance cost. The private design depends on number of persons and quantity of excreta. Number of persons are more, automatically the production is more. Therefore, it is one of the factors we are taken into consideration before we design of the private method of decomposition. What is the method they are adopted? Whether they may go for dry method or wet method, whether they go for two-pit method or eco toilets, whatever it may be. So this is also decomposition. Method of decomposition is also one of the factors we are taken into consideration when we go for design of a tribe. Availability of water. The water availability is also one of the important factors since there is a adequate shortage of water in the rural area. So when you go for design of the whatever the type of the tribe which is required, we are taking into consideration of the, what about the type of the water supply or what about the amount of water supply to that particular one or particular house or particular village. Permeability of the soil. If the permeability is more, infiltration is more, the chances of contamination of the groundwater source is more. So we are taking consideration of the permeability, infiltration capacity of the soil. Ground slope, if it is very gradient is too high, it is in a hilly region, then it is very difficult to go for private system. In private system, there are different types are there. Which one is suitable? Is depending upon the terrain of the ground, gradient or slope of the ground. Availability of fund, once again, it comes to the matter of cost. So we are constructing a system such a way it should be economical one. Location of excreta disposal site. So disposal of excreta is also one of the challenging tasks for the rural areas. So we decide what are the type of the disposal and how to dispose and how you dispose very effectively in such a way that it should not affect on the environment and surrounding area. Some of the MCQs related to that particular chapter are as follows. Advanced oxidation process are used to remove the inorganic materials in the water and wastewater. It is true. Organic materials in the wastewater are removed by oxidation through the reaction with hydroxyl radicals. What is the process used in AOP? It is oxidation process. Advanced oxidation process are cheap. No, it is costly one. The cost of AOP is high because of continuous input of energy. What is the oxidative potential of hydroxyl radicals? It is 2.28. Electrocoagulation process removes bacteria. It is true. The cathode material corrodes during the process, false. What is the minimum number of electrodes required for the process? It is two electrodes required. One is anode, another is cathode. Which among the following corrodes due to oxidation? It is anode. The conductive metals plates are placed in parallel. Dash result from the oxygen and oxygen ions, hydrogen ions that bond into the water receptor sites of emulsified oil molecules. It is emulsion breaking. What is the common method used for mixing of wastewater in electrocoagulation process? It is natural mixing. Thank you.